Hi everyone, my name is Nick Kretikos. I own a business called Nick's Seasonal Decor. You're watching me on Hometalk TV today, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a patriotic wreath. So I'm going to be using this rustic Uncle Sam, and I'm going to be using a 24-inch by 18-inch grapevine wreath. So first, I'm going to start with the ficus leaves. I picked these up from Hobby Lobby. They're $1.99 regular price, but this week they're 50% off. So what I'm going to do with these, also you could be using more like whimsical designs such as this that I got from the dollar store. Okay, so I'm going to be snipping off with some snips the ficus leaves, and I'm just cutting them off. And I'm just cutting them off at the base of each leaf, like that. So you're just going to want to go throughout both stems and just trim them off. So as you guys start coming in, let me know where you guys are coming from. I'm located in Massachusetts, but some of you guys are from all around the world. So just let me know. Let me know what the weather's like, where you're from. It's wicked humid today for us. So I'm just going through the second one now and snipping them off. I already snipped off some beforehand, so I'll finish that. Next, I'm going to be using Boston Fern. I buy this in bulk from Hobby Lobby, but they sell them individual. Probably won't have the plastic on it, but this was also $4.99. It's 50 off this week as well. So I'm going to be snipping them off, just like the ficus leaves. What's nice about these is that they're wired. So since they're wired, you can maneuver them and bend them. So when they come from China, they're just going to be straight like this, but naturally they're going to want to curve a little bit. So when you cut them off, just make sure you curve them a little bit, so it adds a little life to the artificial flowers and leaves. Okay, so I already cut off some of these. Next, I'm going to be using a pick machine. I picked this up also from Hobby Lobby. So this never goes 50% off, but you could always find a coupon 40% off, which is what I used. So I'm going to be using my pick machine. If you guys do not have a pick machine, you could just use some floral tape and some sticks, some leftover sticks from the branches. But you're going to want to use something because when you hot glue it in, the hot glue usually melts the leaves. So I'm just going to go throughout with my pick machine and just pick them. Yep. So Hometalk TV today is also being very generous in doing a giveaway. They're going to be doing a giveaway for a color-changing cup. So the question for that is, if you were to make a wreath, what type of wreath would you make? So comment below in the comment section what you would make if you could make a wreath right now. So I'm making this obviously because 4th of July is coming up. So for me, 4th of July is kind of fun because we go with my family to a beach and watch fireworks. So it's kind of special. It's kind of nice how all the family gets together. So also comment below what you guys are going to do for 4th of July. If you're doing anything fun. Okay, so I already did some of these. Now I'm going to move over to the ficus leaves. So if you do have a pick machine, you're going to want to make sure you press down pretty strongly. Okay. So I already did 2 of these, and then I did a little extra because I don't know exactly how many I'm going to be using. Okay, so next I'm going to be using a glue pot. I picked this up from Amazon. So I'm going to be gluing each stem in like this. It's kind of a high temperature right now. So if you didn't pick the leaves, it would most likely burn. So then I'm just going to stick them in like that into the grapevine. So again, just take a leaf. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting them in all the same direction, so the flow is going to be like this, and then I'm going to do small bows throughout. Okay. So that one's not picked, so make sure you get the picked ones. Okay.
Remember what we're making.
Oh yeah, today we're making a rustic themed patriotic wreath. I'm going to be using an Uncle Sam head, and it's made out of wood. Okay.
Nick, I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
Why did you start doing this?
There's a spruce tree out in my front yard, and my front door was bare, so 4 or 5 years ago, I cut some branches off the spruce tree and I formed it on a old clothes hanger. So I used some wire and I made a wreath out of the tree out front. And then family came over and they were interested in buying one, so then I made some for family and then friends, and it just expanded. So last year I decided to start my own business to help save for college. So I started doing artificial wreaths and centerpieces and stuff like that.
So,
Julianne Ford wants to know what's being used for glue.
This is just standard glue sticks. I chop them up into little pieces, and then I turn on the glue pot and it heats it up. But I know there's specific pellets that you can use for the glue pot. I just generally use glue sticks because I use my 50% off coupons. So most craft stores do use 50% off coupons, and they also take competitors' coupons. So I know Michael's takes Joann's coupons, and Hobby Lobby always has a 40 off. So again, I'm just gluing the steel pick into the glue. So now I'm going to start going the opposite way. Just so that I have two nice ends. So I'm just inserting it into the grapevine. So if you guys wanted to use other types of greens, I know Hobby Lobby carries lots of different greens, different colors and variations and stuff like that.
People are very happy to hear about the coupon deals.
Yeah, always use your coupons. You can save money somehow. I always recommend doing that. And if you guys don't mind sharing this video to friends, so people that you might think would be interested in learning how to make a rustic themed wreath, I greatly appreciate that. Also subscribe to Hometalk. They always have amazing DIYs and live videos. Okay, so I'm just continuing with the ficus leaves. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, just let us know. Put them in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer them.
Well, Victoria Cribbs wants to know, why would you use the still picks if you're filling them? They thought that they were for foam.
I use them for foam as well, but these type of branches tend to melt with the hot glue. Even low temp hot glue, I found that these don't hold up that well. So I like using the steel picks. Okay, so a few more pieces of this, and then we should be done.
Googie would like to know how much your wreath is.
I haven't priced this one out yet, but if you guys are interested in purchasing this one after the video, I will have it uploaded on my Facebook page, Nick Seasonal Decor.
Also would like to know if you make sports wreaths.
I do make sports wreaths. Lots of people like the Patriots themed wreaths. We're in New England here, so they enjoy the Patriots. Okay, one more piece down below. So again, I'm just spreading it around in the glue. But again, the steel pick machine is definitely not a necessity. You could just use some floral tape. You could pick it up from the dollar store. Okay, next I'll be using these fern leaves. So again, as I'm putting them in, I am going to bend them so that they have a little more life. So when you purchase them, they're going to be straight, and you're going to want to fluff them up a little bit, give them a little life. And then I'll just be inserting these. So just bend them again. So if you guys wanted to use more greens than just these two, the more the better. I mean, personally, that's how I feel.
Missy Grissom wants to know if you've ever done a reveal wreath, like for male or female, for gender
No, but that's a
reveal
great
parties.
idea. Yeah, I've seen some reveal wreaths, and I think that's such a cool idea.
A couple people are wondering what a steel pick is.
A steel pick. Here, let me- a steel pick is a little piece of steel, and it looks like that. And what the clamp does is it clamps around the steel pick. So when you stick the branches in, here, let me show you an example. Right here. So when you stick the branches in, it squeezes on top of the branch, and it gives a little anchor to be able to anchor into the wreath. And I usually like using these for the grapevines because a lot of the times my grapevine wreaths are pretty tight, and it's hard to stick branches in if they're not secured.
Do you mind reminding us what type of glue you're using?
I'm just using regular glue sticks, and I just chop them up into little pieces. So again, I'm just putting them this way, and then I'm going to go this way now. Always step back and look at your wreaths when you're working, because you'll see spots that you've missed. I'm going to stick one more here, and then I'm going to go that way. So sometimes when I'm making wreaths, I get stuck and frustrated, and I walk away for a couple hours and then come back and fix what I don't like. So if you guys have that problem, just walk away and then come back.
Josie Pagan wants to know if you're using real leaves right now.
These are artificial. Yeah, and they last a long, long time.
Heather would like to know what kind of stand you're using.
This is actually an easel for a picture frame. I picked it up from Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off. I think it was $39.99 with 40% off. But you could use an actual easel for wreaths. I just like this one. So I'm going to add one more piece right here.
Connie Webb is wondering how well your wreaths stand through the weather.
They stand great in the New England weather we have. We have some big snowstorms up here, and I've never had a problem with my wreaths. And my wreath is, my door, like, gets the worst weather. Gets such direct sunlight in the summer, and I've never had a problem with my glue melting or things falling apart. I mean, the leaves that they create nowadays and the flowers, they're pretty weather resistant and fade resistant. So they know how to make them. Alright, I'm going to stick one more piece right there.
And how did you attach it to the easel? Did you just hang it up there?
Yeah, I just, see it has a little decoration on top. And what I do is I just find a good spot to just poke it in. And then like that, I just stick it in.
It's easy as that.
Yeah, it's wicked easy. I know some easels can go for $200 for some high quality easels, but I found this one for like, I don't know, whatever $40, 40% off was, and it was a good deal in my opinion. Okay, so next I will be attaching my sign. So here's the Uncle Sam sign that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to be using a commercial stapler for this. You could just use some hot glue. Since I sell my wreaths, I like to use the strongest materials. And what I'm going to be doing is attaching it towards the end. Like that. So I'll be doing two. And then what I always like to do is take a little hot glue on top of the staples. And then just put a little hot glue.
Jean would like to know where you are located.
I'm located in Raleigh, Massachusetts.
And Jan would like to know where you find great ficus leaves at a decent price.
Ficus leaves?
Yep.
I find them at Hobby Lobby and I get them 50% off. I order a few hundred at a time, but they always carry at least 15 in the store. So what I'm going to be doing is pulling this through the grapevine.
Deborah would like to know how you're keeping the glue melted.
I'm using my glue pot to keep it melted. So that one has a little setting where you could increase the heat and lower the heat.
Brenda would like to know if you can use any shaped wreath.
Yeah, you certainly could. You could use a simple circle one. I just like the oval shape because I'm only doing half the wreath. But if you wanted to do the same thing with the circle wreath, it would come out just as fine. So now I'm going to be using a zip tie to secure the top, just so it doesn't wobble around. So what I'm going to do is poke it through here and just secure it.
Heather would like to know where you purchased your steel pick machine.
I purchased it from Hobby Lobby. It was $199, 40% off. That machine never goes on sale, but if you could find a Hobby Lobby 40% off, they always have them on their website. So I just zip tied it.
Amanda has a Rubbermaid box full of flowers and greenery that she doesn't display any longer. Could she repurpose them into a wreath?
Yeah, certainly. You definitely could. I mean, I have a couple scrap flowers from projects that I do not, that I can't use them for one single project because there's not enough, so I just mix them in. You certainly could, yeah.
Becca is wondering how your wreath will stay balanced if you have decorations on one side.
I use command strips when I attach them to the wall and the doors. So the command strip has a nice little anchor, so when it attaches, it just holds. I mean, this is not too heavy. This side of the wreath's pretty much the same heaviness as this side. If I was using more weighted material, I would kind of balance it a little more.
Teresa would like to see the back to see how you attached the Uncle Sam.
Yep. So I used a pipe cleaner and then a zip tie right here. So sometimes the steel picks poke through the back, and what I do is I snip them off, and then I cover them up with leaves, scrap leaves that I always save. I always save the leaves from projects that you don't need them for because they always come in handy. Okay, so next I'm going to be making a bow. This isn't the typical bow, even though I'm going to be making one of those in a little bit. Where's my ribbon? I had it somewhere. Gotta be some. Here it is. Alright, so I'm going to be using this that I picked up from Hobby Lobby as well. It was $7, and every other week it goes 50 off, so next week this will be 50% off. So I'm just going to measure out, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to gather it like this. Flip it. Gather another little piece. And do that. So I'm going to be doing several of these. I think 5 is the total number I'm going to be doing. So it's not a traditional bow.
You have some people wondering how they could place an order.
I have an Etsy. I have a Facebook page. My name is Nick Kretikos, and I own Nick Seasonal Decor. So if you wanted to check out that page or my Etsy.
In the title of the video, right?
Jordan, the live coordinator, is going to be dropping it in the comment section periodically, so you guys can check that out. So again, I'm just going every 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches, and just making little simple 3-loop bows. I feel like if I did a regular typical bow on this, it would be a little too much. So I'm kind of just adding little hints of ribbon. So again, 4 or 5 inches.
People would like to see the other wreaths on the wall.
Yeah. So I make Christmas wreaths, Easter wreaths, Halloween wreaths, fall wreaths. You name it, I've probably made it. My personal favorite holiday is Christmas, so I'm already starting with my Christmas wreaths.
Teresa would like to know if you do tutorials on making bows.
I have a bow making tutorial right now on my page in my video section. But I'll be making a more traditional bow in a couple minutes. So again, just make...
Janet said to not say your name so fast.
Yeah, my name is Nick Kretikos, and I own Nick Seasonal Decor. Okay, so we're at...
You have some people from Brazil.
Brazil?
Puerto Rico.
I have lots of friends from Brazil.
Brenda would like to know if the bow has wire running in it.
Yes, this does have wire running through it. I always recommend getting wired ribbon.
Get a close up.
Yep. So this is the type of ribbon it is.
Teresa's wondering if you do burlap wreaths.
I do burlap wreaths. I have an example in the other room, but I have pictures on my page, and I did a tutorial that was pretty popular on my page. People seem to like how to make burlap wreaths, so if you wanted to see that, I do have a tutorial. So again, I'm probably just going to measure 4, 5, 6 inches, snip it off. To get a nice end on the ribbon, you're going to want to fold it in half, like that, and then cut away from you. So cut from the inside out. And that's how you get a nice finished touch. Okay, so next I'm going to be attaching this. So, you know, just place it where you see fit. The nice thing about a wreath like this is that it doesn't have to be perfect. So again, I'm looping it through and pulling it through. And then I'm going to go back and see where I like the next one.
Amber says that's the same ribbon that she used for her holiday wreath last summer.
Oh, did you? What type of wreath did you make? A 4th of July wreath?
And Michelle says it's very refreshing to see a guy enjoying this type of craft.
Yeah, I do enjoy making them. It's nice to be able to do what you love and save up for college, so I'm pretty blessed. Okay. So again, I'm just pulling them through. So try to find a wreath that's kind of thinner to be able to insert the picks and the pipe cleaners and ribbon through. When they're so densely packed like this, kind of makes it a little difficult.
So Nick, do you have a YouTube account?
I do have a YouTube. It'll be posted below, but it's Nick Seasonal Decor Designs.
So same username for everything?
Pretty much, yep. And I believe I have a couple tutorials on that. If not, I will definitely be posting more.
Do you mind reminding us what type of leaves that you used?
I used a Boston fern and some ficus leaves. So I used 2 stems, a little over 2 stems of the ficus leaves. So I'd recommend picking up 3. And then I used 1 whole thing of Boston fern, which again are $1.99 for the ficus leaves and then $4.99 for the fern. But this week they're 50 off. Usually what they do is the mesh and the ribbon 50 off every other week. So like the flowers are 50 off this week, so next week the ribbon will be 50 off.
Sheila's wondering which is easier to work with, mesh or burlap?
I mean, it really depends on what you find to be harder. I find burlap to be more tricky because it kind of hurts my hands to be making burlap wreaths because you got to twist them pretty tight with the pipe cleaners. So there's the ribbon. Now I'm going to be fluffing it up.
So you're using the pipe cleaners to attach the ribbon?
Yep, I'm using pipe cleaners. I'm using beige colored ones because I feel like it matches the ribbon the best. But you could use whatever color. Just make sure that they're not seen. So I just twirled that a little bit. And I'm just going to fluff them up. What's nice about a bow like this is that it's not overwhelming. It doesn't take away from the sign that much. So if you have anything covering a sign, just poke it behind. Like that.
Sylvia said, the best I have seen yet on this page. Many talented people, but I like how he just works and can talk without distraction.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Natural talker.
I try. Okay, so I picked out some fall flowers, which obviously were for the 4th of July, but these came from a fall collection from Hobby Lobby last year. So it was $12.99, and I believe I picked it up 50% off. So this is what I have left over. So always use whatever you have.
I have Lori here wondering, how did you get started working with these wreaths?
Working with the artificial wreaths. It started last year when I opened up my business to save for college. I got some orders for artificial, and it really took off, so I continued making them. So usually what I do is I just try it, and if I like it, I'll post it on my page, and if I don't, I won't. But practice makes perfect. So if you guys are nervous about making wreaths, I mean, if I could do it, you can do it. So these ones are thicker stems, so I won't be using my steel picks machine. You certainly could, but I just think it's a waste of picks. So these are red mums, I believe, and they came from fall. But since they're a darker red, I feel like it works with the sign better.
Oh, Brenda says she thinks she needs this one for her door.
Yeah, it'll be available, Brenda. So again, I'm just placing them. Always try to keep your flowers off center, so don't have them facing directly at you. I feel like it makes it look much better. It doesn't look overwhelming. So again, I'm just putting a little glue. So what I do recommend is using one type of whatever you're working with at a time. So like I did the ferns, and then I did the ficus, and then I did the ferns. And now I'm doing the red flowers, and then I'll do the cream. That's so you can disperse them evenly. So like when I do my Christmas tree, I always do one color at a time.
Melissa's wondering what type of glue that is?
These are just glue sticks that I picked up from Joann's, I believe. And then I don't need any more fern. So I think maybe one more up top. Yeah, so just regular glue sticks. I use a coupon, so then I get a discount. But if you wanted to purchase glue pellets, you certainly could. I think they're called glue pillows or glue pellets. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so there's 5.
A lot of people in the comments have great ideas for their own wreaths.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
What type of wreaths?
Birthday themed wreaths, dinosaur, Christmas, Halloween.
I've seen some birthday wreaths made out of balloons, and it was kind of cool. So next I'm going to be using a gladiola. This is a cream color. I don't remember where I picked this up, but I know Hobby Lobby sells a variation of this. I believe it's more of a white color though. But this is like a cream color. So what I did is I pulled off some of the flowers. And what I'm doing is just doing the same thing, gluing them.
Lorraine is wondering if this video is going to be available on your page.
Yep, it'll be available on my page after. So again, I'm just sticking them in randomly.
Paul is wondering what colleges you're looking at.
I'm looking at Salem State and then Rittner's Floral School in Boston, Mass. I also do fresh centerpieces and fresh wreaths and fresh arrangements, so I kind of want to learn more on how to do that, and Rittner's seems to be a great school for that. Okay, so again, I'm just pulling them off. They come right off. I usually like rustic themed wreaths more. So like I did a wine themed wreath last week, and it was more burlappy type ribbon and burlap.
I have E here wondering if you make specific types of wreath for specific parts of the country, like the desert.
No, I probably have. I can't think of one right now, but yeah, I certainly could do that.
I'm assuming like weather resistance.
Oh, you
is
mean
what
like
they
that?
mean.
Yeah, I mean, most of these products are weather resistant. The flowers they come up with nowadays have UV protectants and resistant stuff.
And
So they hold up.
Gayla wants to know if you stick with odd numbers when you put
I
things down.
typically do. That was kind of hard for me. I used to be more of a traditional, if I put one ornament on one side type of guy. I must do it to the other side, but I've kind of tried to force myself out of that.
Rita says her son goes to Salem State.
Oh, does he?
And Kim is wondering if there's a good replacement for a steel pick machine until she can buy one of her own.
Yep, just regular floral tape.
Floral tape?
Yep, floral tape. I should have a roll over there. Yeah, sure. I get it from a supplier in Boston, but the dollar store has them. Has them as well. So you might. Oh, it's in the other box. On a table with all the corsage. So yeah, I use that for my corsages and boutonnieres. So what it is, it's like a stretch tape, so it's not sticky until you pull it.
Is this the box?
Yep.
Yep.
So yeah, let's show them that. So this is the tape I use. It's floor tape. And it's not sticky until you pull it or stretch it. And I usually just use extra sticks from whatever I'm working on to make it. Alright, so I do think I need one more piece of ficus. But yeah, that couldn't be any cheaper than $1. Sometimes you can get it even cheaper if you buy it in bulk. Okay. So I think one more piece of gladiola and we'll be all set with this wreath. How are we looking on time?
It's 1:28. About a half hour in.
Okay.
We've got a couple people following you on Facebook now.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, I appreciate that. I really do. So I have 3 leftover flowers. I mean, might as well use them because I can't use them for something else unless I do something with gladiolas. So these are like the little buds. So I kind of like when I do wreaths like this, I kind of like it to slowly narrow out. So just sticking that little bud there, I think it makes it a little thinner.
Crystal from Michigan says that this is by far the best craft video she's ever seen, and she's watched a lot.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice of you.
Brenda wants to know if you reuse items from your wreath.
Yeah, sometimes I take wreaths apart. If I'm not a fan of it, I don't like to sell it. So what I do is I take the pieces off those wreaths and then reuse them. Or if I have little bits of stuff left over, I really like to use them up. It's a waste, in my opinion, to throw them out.
Joya wants to know if you're entirely self-taught.
Yeah, I am. I haven't gone to school. Okay, so this is the Uncle Sam wreath. I do have another wreath I can make for you guys if you want. It'll probably take me 15 minutes. You guys let me know in the comment section. I could teach you how to make a bow. It's totally up to you guys. Okay, so always stand back, like I said. That's what I'm doing right now.
I've got people in Canada, too.
Oh, Canada.
Canada.
Yeah, my dad lived in Ontario, I believe, for a little while.
Oh, you got people saying they want to see more.
They want to see more? Okay. So, this would be perfect for a long door. So this is how big it is. It's 24 inches by 18 inches wide. I kind of like it with these type of bows better when I do rustic wreaths. I feel like a big bow would have been overwhelming. Pull off your glue strings. And then after this video, because you guys don't want to see it, I'm going to be cutting off the pipe cleaners and cleaning it up. So if anything's sticking out, I'll cut them off.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Oh, Jean wants to know what you're majoring in when you go to college.
business. So here's my other wreath. So what I did with this is a circle wreath, an 18-inch grapevine. It's not an oval shape, but I tend to work with these more often than the oval. So I did the same thing I did with that, but I continued with the whole thing. So this one, I went the same direction the whole time, instead of going half and half.
Yeah. Like and share video.
Oh, yep, make sure you like and share this video. Make sure you subscribe to Hometalk TV too. So what I'm going to be doing first is making the bow, which is not what I did in the last one. So what I'm going to do is measure, we could do longer, probably 2 feet. Let's
So,
see how
real
that
quick
looks.
question. Victoria's wondering how you price your wreaths.
I go off of materials and labor, so yeah, I tend to do that. It really depends on the wreath too, because if I feel like it should be cheaper, I definitely will. So that was 24 inches, and then I'll probably add 6 inches to that just to make it a little longer. And then I'll cut it off. And then to get the nice tails again, here, let's see so you guys can see. What you do is you fold the ribbon in half, like that, and then cut away from you. So go from the inside out. And that's how you get a nice tail on that. So we'll do it one more time. Cut away from you. So, you guys can purchase a Bodabra. I'm going to be making a tutorial on how to use that as well. But, might as well just make it by hand. So what I do is I typically gather it together. So that's the size I want. I don't want it too big. And then I flip it and do another loop. And you guys can just estimate it. I never make them the exact same. So what I do is then I flip it so that you get the print on one side. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
And then twist it again. And when each time you twist, it reveals the print. So if I didn't twist, here, I'll show you in a second. If I didn't twist, you don't see the print. Does that make sense? So always make sure you twist. And if it's not printed, I still twist it.
Brenda's wondering if your ribbon frays, and if it does, how do you keep it from fraying?
I do have cheaper quality ribbon that I tend to stay away from. It's just sitting in my closet. But these ribbons, this is kind of like a burlappy denim type of ribbon, and it's super thick, like a canvas. So these ribbons do not fray, but the ones that do fray, I just continue cutting it.
And Heather is wondering how your wreaths are packaged and shipped.
I use a box that's 24 by 24 by 4, and that snugly fits the wreath in the box. And I use pipe cleaners to attach it to the back of the box, and it depends on the wreath, but usually I add bubble wrap and stuff like that to make sure the wreath is protected.
So Maria wants to know if you're selling them.
I do sell them. I sell them on my Facebook page and my Etsy page. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We have a lot of Army families looking for patriotic wreaths.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I appreciate their service. I really do.
Carmen's wondering if you've ever put clear nail polish on ribbon so it doesn't fray.
I usually don't do that extra step. I mean, if it frays enough, I could see that I might do it potentially, but usually if that happens, I just purchase better quality ribbon. So next I will be taking my tail, like this, folding it in half. It doesn't have to be perfectly in half. Sticking it on the back. Then I'm taking a pipe cleaner. This I'm also using beige because this is more of a darker themed wreath. Making sure you pull it to the back. Pull it tight. Twist. And then this is how you're going to fluff the bow. You're going to want to pull each loop away from each other. I mean, this is how I do it. There's so many other tutorials. I have a more in-depth tutorial on my page, but there's so many tutorials out there for different types of bows.
Maria's wondering what the price range would be for the type of Uncle Sam wreath that you just made.
I have to price it out, but between $75 and $80. I have another option available with 6 different types of ribbons in one bow that people tend to like. So that's how you get a simple bow. You could do more loops, you could do less loops. It's totally up to you. But this is what I'd call like a standard bow. My friend Julie Samako, who owns Southern Charm Wreaths, she made 7 different types of bows, I believe, maybe 8, and she teaches how to make each. I do credit a lot of my success to Julie. She has pages such as the Wreath Making of the Month Club, where I learned so much from all these different crafters like myself. So again, I'm just poking it through. And then she has a Success Circle, and I believe a couple other pages, and her work is just phenomenal, and I learned so much from her. So if you guys wanted to check her out, she's at Southern Charm Wreaths. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the same thing I did with the little bows, and I'm just pulling it behind. Here, I'll move this over for you. So you're constantly going to be adjusting the loops and the bows and the ribbons. I think that's where 90% of my time goes, just fluffing these things. Okay, perfect. So you could curl them up. I usually like them to hang down a little bit, maybe with a little poof like that. Just run your fingers through them and fluff them up a little bit. Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to be using all these different flowers. You could have also used these in the last wreath I made. These are from the dollar store. They came from the fall collection as well. And, I mean, I think they're too dark for this, but they were perfect in that wreath that I just made. And then I'm going to be using spray roses. And then these mums. And then these blue roses. So first I'm going to be using these. So these stems are a little thicker, so I'm not going to be using the steel pick machine. But if you find out that they tend to burn with the glue, you could always just use your pick machine. Okay. So again, use your wire snips and just snip them off. You're not going to want to cut your flowers with scissors. I found out the hard way.
So Carrie's wondering if you've ever used a wire wreath as opposed to grapevine.
Yep, I use wire wreaths all the time as well. I use those for my mesh wreaths. I like to work with grapevine because our door usually gets heavy winds. So the extra grapevine helps stabilize the wreath and keep it from flying away. So again, I'm just going to be sticking them in the hot glue. Just putting them throughout.
And Teresa's wondering, where do you typically purchase your wreaths?
I pick them up anywhere. Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, AC Moore. Walmart even sells them. Dollar store sells smaller ones. I usually just go everywhere. I haven't found a good wholesale place for my wreaths, like the wire wreaths and stuff like that. So again, I'm just inserting them into the grapevine.
What type of glue is that?
This is just regular glue sticks that I chopped up into little bits. I find that to be the cheapest. Yeah, be sure you guys like and subscribe too. Like and share this video. And comment where you're from. I'd love to go back and see where everybody's from. Okay. One more piece, 2 more pieces.
Well, PJ says that she loves Patriotic Wreaths and her house is decorated in patriotic colors.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I love the red, white, and blue. My favorite color personally is red, so anytime I can use red, especially at Christmas time, I just love it. Okay, so next flower I'm going to be using is some of these red roses. So like I said, make sure you do one color at a time. I mean, obviously you don't have to, but that's what I do. So I'm just snipping those off as well. And these are pretty nice quality. I picked these up from Hobby Lobby. They were $6.99, 50% off this week. So I'm just adding a few of those throughout. More.
Oh, from New Zealand.
New Zealand. Wow.
What are you melting that glue in, Emily's wondering?
This is a glue pot, a glue skillet.
Skillet.
Yeah. I used to use glue guns, but they'd give me a lot of blisters on my fingers from, especially at Christmas time when I'd be working on them so much. So again, I think maybe one more piece and then that's it. Right here.
Oh, Scotland too.
Scotland.
Can you remind us where you're from?
I'm from Raleigh, Massachusetts. So East Coast over here. Next I'm going to be using the navy blue. So again, they have colors that are more vibrant and bright. I just, for patriotic wreaths, I tend to use more rustic themed wreaths, rustic themed colors. So again, I'm just going to be gluing these in. These are a different type of rose, or different kind of style. I'll just be adding those in. Those match the ribbon perfectly, so I picked them up. But again, if you wanted to use a different color or different ribbon, you could use this method for any type of season. I make my Christmas wreaths like this, my Valentine's Day wreaths, Easter wreaths. Okay, so a few more blue. Any other questions you guys have?
I'm not seeing anything yet.
Yeah, just let me know in the comments and I'll be more than happy to help. So I'll be adding a few more of these. And if you guys find that something doesn't hold exactly the way you want it to, always just take it out and reposition it. I do that a lot. I like things to be secure, so.
Shelly's wondering where you got those flowers because they're very pretty.
These came from Hobby Lobby as well. Okay, so next let's see.
And Betsy wants to know how long you've been making these wreaths.
I don't like these in it, so I won't be using. I've been making this style, like artificial wreaths like this for a year and a half, maybe.
How long in general?
I don't know how. What are we at?
How long's it been?
Oh, time for that?
No, like,
No, I know. I mean, fresh. It's got to be 4 or 5 years. But
yeah.
actually, doing artificial as a business, probably a year and a half. Not too long.
And Paula wants to know what got you to start making them.
There was a tree outside and my door was bare, so I went out, cut some branches, made a wreath, and then it just took off from there. I mean, I really do enjoy making them. And you guys will too if you guys start making them. It's fun to do all the different holidays, get you in the spirit. So again, I'm just going to cut off a few more of these. So if you guys want to learn how to make a bow more in depth, I do have a tutorial of that. I'm sorry that was kind of fast, but...
Do you mind showing us the wreath that you just finished making beforehand for Ricky?
Yep. I'll show you this wreath.
And Brenda also wants to know how long fresh wreaths typically last.
It depends on the cold. If it's pretty cold outside, they last... Mine last well beyond Valentine's Day. I usually take them down in late March. So this is the wreath I just made. If it's cold out, they usually last with the cold, but I'd say that longer than 3 months if you're in New England or if you're in a cold environment. If you're in the heat, I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks maybe. They still look pretty, even when they're dried out, but if you walk by them, they drop their needles. But yeah, I do the centerpieces and stuff like that.
Sorry about that.
No, go ahead.
Dell is wondering if you save the greenery from other wreaths
Yep.
to reuse.
I always save the greenery. That's something I always save, because I always use it to cover the backs of wreaths and stuff like that. So I just have a big basket somewhere full of scrap leaves and stuff like that.
And Lupita wants to know if you do fresh flowers.
Yep, I do fresh flowers. I do fresh centerpieces for Easter and Valentine's Day. And Thanksgiving, I do pumpkin centerpieces, so I take fresh pumpkins, carve them out, carve the top out, preserve them, and put flowers and mums and candles in them. And then at Christmas time, I do it as well.
So Joanne is wondering, with that glue in the pan,
Yep.
do you just heat it again?
So when I unplug this after, it'll just solidify inside the pot. One more glue, I think. So once it just solidifies, it just turns rock hard, and then next time I go to use it, I just reheat it, and then it works exactly like you see how it's working here. I definitely prefer these over glue guns, but sometimes you have to use a glue gun. But the glue guns are so inexpensive too. You can just use cheap, like AC Moore has them for like $1.99, $2.99.
Can you repeat your Facebook name for Patsy?
Yep, my Facebook name is Nick Seasonal Decor.
It should be linked somewhere in the title of the video.
Is it linked? Yeah, it should be linked, yep. Alright, so I think one more flower there, and then we're all set with this wreath. I think white. So this is more of a bright white than the last one, but if you wanted to use creams or bright blues, I mean, you certainly could. Alright, so that's the wreath, and this is the back of the wreath. I always attach my card to the back, but after this, I'm going to be cutting off these and then the steel picks, whatever's left. I did use steel picks for the ficus leaves on this wreath, but I'm going to cut those off and then cover them with leaves. And then this is the wreath. So if you want a more in-depth video of my bow making tutorial, I do have one on my page. Alright, so these are the 2 wreaths that we just made. Here's another one. This one's actually sold, but this is my 6-loop bow that I used using the Bodabra. But these are the 2 wreaths we made today.
The winner is Jerry Meadows for the birthday wreath.
Jerry Meadows?
Yep.
Oh, for the birthday
Birthday wreath.
for the birthday wreath. Oh, congrats! Yeah, so Hometalk TV will get in touch with you and will give you your stuff. So these are the wreaths. So if you guys don't mind checking out my page and subscribing to Hometalk TV, we both would greatly appreciate that. Many more DIYs to come, and you guys have a great day. Thank you.